Hi YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. So I haven't been making videos for the past month, but I had to make this video. I was watching Leah Bad's video and her last live. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but if you haven't, you have to check out that live because she was basically talking about passing. And I've made videos about passing and my thoughts on passing and the problems associated with passing. But I just wanted to not respond to that video, but just put my 2 cents in the whole conversation. I really think there are so many problems with passing. Number one, the whole idea of passing for me is flawed because, oh, bitch, I just cut myself. I don't even know how, though. Anyways, the whole idea of passing for me is super, super flawed because we as trans women, sometimes we get tunnel vision and we get an idea of what we want to be, what we want to look like. And often it's this idealized version of perfect femininity. You know what I mean? So it's this idealized version of the perfect woman, if you're a trans woman, of course. Um, it's this perfect version where you have to have your eyebrows on fleek, your nails have to be perfect, you have to have the perfect ass, the perfect tits, and no one must be able to ever tell that you were genetically born male. I mean, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted when I stepped into this journey. I wanted to get to a point where not only did everybody think that I was genetically born female, I wanted to be the prettiest out of the prettiest. You know what I mean? I really wanted to be like that black Gigi Gorgeous. Look, I think this tunnel vision makes it so hard for us because we almost overcompensate when it comes to our femininity. We almost overcompensate. And one thing I know for sure is just because you pass, just because you're read as female, doesn't mean that you are attractive. It doesn't mean that you're pretty. You literally can pass as somebody's grandmother. You can pass as anything. You know what I'm trying to say. There are so many girls out there that don't necessarily pass all of the way 100%, but you cannot tell me that they're not beautiful. You cannot tell me that those girls don't fucking kill it every time. Even though they don't always 100% look female, you know that those girls are gorgeous. You know what I mean? And they're girls who pass but aren't necessarily pretty. Like, you look at them and you're like, yeah, I thought you were a whole female. I really thought that you were a genetic female. But the girl doesn't necessarily look 100% pretty. Because the thing is, you need to look at femininity as a spectrum. There's some girls that are like Barbie dolls, other girls are more butch. I mean, the standards that we have set for passing, some genetic women don't pass based on the standard we've set. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I started my old job, the one that I hated, I was in training and my now really good friend, he was told that there was going to be a transgender girl joining the team. And of course he's gay, so they wanted him to sort of be nice to me and to talk to me. So, he was really excited to see me or to like meet me. And I started a month later, and there was another girl who came in, a whole genetic female, came into the team, and my friend Jared thought that this genetic female was transgender and was being friendly to her. Apparently, she was hella problematic, but he was convinced that she was transgender, and so were a lot of other people in the team. And people only found out that she wasn't the trans girl when when they announced that, oh, Christabel is going to start on Monday. So there are whole females. There are whole females that don't meet the standards that we as transgender women have set for ourselves, the standards of perfection. And you know, the thing is, and I've been guilty of this. Look, I am not an angel. I know I may come across as very sweet and very docile in some of my videos, but I'm not an angel. I have my shadow side and I have my problematic ways. You know what I mean? So there was actually this one time I have a friend. We're gonna name her Quintessa. So Quintessa is she's obviously a trans woman, but she still presents as male because she just doesn't have the means to transition. She just doesn't have the money to go down that road. So it's not feasible for her right now. And to be honest, transitioning is scary as fuck. So she's still feeling some type of way about standing in her truth. And I'm the type of person I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you have to do this. You have to do this." We all have guidance inside of ourselves and we're all going to act when we're comfortable to act. You know what I mean? But anyways, I digress. So I went to the gay club with my housemate and a guy that he was with. The guy that he was with wanted to go back home because he wasn't comfortable in the club. So I decided, okay, I can drop him off. But I was like, as I was going to drop him off, Quintessa popped into my head. I called the bitch up and I'm like, hey, friend, listen, I'm at the gay club. Do you want to come over? Like, do you want to party with us? It's still super early. So she was amped. So we went and we picked her up. And then we went to my place. And she really wanted to dress up as a girl to present as female. And I was like living for it. I was living for it. This is really annoying me. I cut myself, y'all. Um, so I was living for it. So I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. I have some makeup. Now Quintessa is a whole white female. So I was like, you, for obvious reason, can't use any of my foundation. Because it'll be too dark for you. But you can put on my blonde wig. We can do your eyes, honey. We can put on some lipstick. We can get you in like an outfit. We put her in this like one piece, this purple one piece. She looked hella sexy. And these like knee-high boots. And we straightened her hair. And, you know, but I had to like shape her legs a little because you know, she's obviously still presenting as male. So we got her done. But look, I mean, she didn't. She didn't pass. That's what I'm getting at. She did not pass. You could still see that she was genetically born male. She didn't pass, but she was just so amped to be going out and presenting as female that night. So we were both cool with it, you know. Get into the Uber. We go back into the club. This is where Christabel gets shady. We're getting drinks. We're having a good time. We're dancing. Guess who gets hit on? Quintessa. Quintessa literally started getting hit on by this like blonde guy, and he was definitely feeling her, bought her drinks. And I just remember being like, okay. And then there was another guy who was trying to get with her, another guy, but obviously because the blonde guy was with her, the other guy couldn't, you know, jump in there. And no one was checking for me. Not a damn person, girl. And I'm gonna be honest, I felt some type of way because in my mind I was kind of like, what am I doing wrong? Like that night I felt like I was passing, and most of the time I pass when I go out into society, when I'm moving out in the streets, I pass. And it was bothering me. Now the other guy who wanted Quintessa, he was basically trying to get me to hook them up, and I'm like, no, she's with somebody else. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm like talking to him. And I'm trying to assess, does he know that I'm trans? So, I just let it out. I'm like, I'm also transgender. And he's like, oh, really? Okay, okay, no, that's cool. Drinks his drink. And then he asked me, so how long have you known your friend for? Bitch, I gagged. Because you know what? Even though I felt that I was passing and whatnot, at the end of the day, Quintessa was the one who was pulling all of these guys. So don't get it twisted. I know we all think, and look, I'll preface this by saying, I think that I'm attractive in my own way. But that night, I was not what the boys were feeling. I just wasn't. And that's okay. That's okay. There's so many problems with passing. There's so many problems with passing. A lot of the girls who do pass, and I 100% agree with what Leah said in her video, a lot of the girls who do pass, who have like the titties, the curves, the ass, and all of that, we're single. We legit are single. We legit are single for the most part. You know what I mean? And the girls that look more, the girls that don't pass, they're the ones that walk into the club and take all of these guys. You know what I mean? Because they're visibly trans, and that's what some of these guys do want. Do you know who I do attract at the club? Do you know who I do attract at the gay club? Bitch gag. Lesbians. Whole lesbians are all up into me, trying to kiss me, doing all of that. Which, it would make sense because I'm female and they're attracted to females. So I kind of get it. So I get a lot of lesbians. I get a lot of like Europeans and Americans and Canadians that are on holiday here that are attracted to me. But they always think that I'm cisgender. They literally always think that I'm cisgender. It was only the one guy who kind of figured it out, but they'll normally think that I'm cisgender. And it's kind of, I won't say that it's awful because yes, I want to pass, but I'm always in situations where now when I meet a guy in a gay club, I literally need to send him the text message and say, look, it was fun dancing and whatever and making out, and I definitely still want to meet you, but did you know that I'm transgender, or do you know that I'm trans? And I'm not even playing with you when I say they all block me after that. Guys that I met at the gay club, straight guys that I don't know what they were doing in the gay club looking for straight girls. Well, I do know what they're doing. I do know what they're doing. Fun fact, straight guys sometimes like to go to gay clubs if the gay club is closed, if their friends drag them in. And when they're in the gay club, they look for straight girls and they think that the straight girls aren't going to have their walls up. They're going to be more open to talk. And they think it's going to be easier to pull straight girls. So, with the exception of the one Scottish guy, every single guy I've met at these gay clubs will like block me, ghost me once I tell them my tea. So it's no different from when I was going to straight clubs. It literally is no different. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of hypocritical in a way. Well, not hypocritical, but it's hella shady and problematic because if you are a straight guy going to a gay club and you encounter a transgender girl, I mean, a lot of us nowadays are starting to pass and are starting to look like whole females, whole genetic females. But so that's the one thing I wanted to say about passing is that just because you pass doesn't always necessarily mean that you're pretty. And two, a lot of the guys that are into trans girls, a lot of times they want to be with girls that visibly look trans. And like the third thing that I think is a problem sometimes with passing is that since I started passing, like, bitch, you just can't relax. You're always on like on edge just to some degree, especially if at work, if you pass at work or if you pass generally in society and you start getting a taste or a whiff of passing privilege, you're always on edge because you know that should one person clock you, it's more sensationalized. It's definitely more sensationalized when there's a trans girl who, for all intents and purposes, passes and somebody outs them. People are normally in disbelief and they're like, no, I can't believe it. And they're like, you know what I mean? It becomes a show. It becomes a show and it becomes very, very sensationalized. And it becomes kind of like, oh, somebody exposed you. Like you had this whole secret that you were keeping from people. It basically feels like people are airing your dirty laundry, even if you don't hide the fact that you're trans. That's why I say, like, it feels like you're on edge. Whereas when you're clockable, when you walk into a room and everybody knows that you're trans, look, I mean, it's what's there to expose when people can all see? You know what I mean? So, look, on either side of the equation, there are issues and their problems. There are issues and their problems. When you don't pass, you know, people can treat you like shit. People can be hella rude. People can be hella rude. And you get called sir and him and mister all the fucking ass time. But then when you do pass, you're nervous that somebody's gonna clock you. It almost becomes like you get a taste of passing and you just want to hold on to it for dear life. And you're on edge because you're like, somebody's gonna take this away from me. Somebody's gonna take what I have. So if you're out there and you're stressed and you're nervous about passing and whatnot, don't be. This is always going to be a journey. There are advantages and disadvantages on both ends. And to be honest, a lot of the girls that get killed are girls that pass. If you look at them, if you really look at some of these girls, and Leah said it in her video, and I'm just gonna say exactly what she said. A lot of these girls that are killed pass. A lot of these girls that are killed pass because guys didn't know that they were trans and then they wanted to feel some type of way. So all I'm gonna say is, this is your journey. Yes, there are disadvantages on both ends of the spectrum. Don't be too hard on yourself and get this tunnel vision and believe that you need to be 100% passable in order to have a good life. You can still be the bomb. Nobody says the bomb anymore, but you can still be like the shit even if you don't pass. So just know that you are beautiful where you are in transition, my angel. Peace, love, and many blessings.